Alright, YouTubers, welcome back today. Uncle Dave with DC's Adventures coming to you with another video from the review rug. And today we have a pretty special knife on the rug. This is my Mora Classic #1, part of the Mora Classic series. This knife, I believe they've been making this knife since about the 1890s. Pretty awesome knife as far as I'm concerned, and it was my main carver for the last couple years, but now that Mora has come out with some carving knives that are really made just for carving, I'm starting to use more of those for carving, but I still use this for the majority of everything because this is my preferred neck knife. So I carry a hunting belt sheath or a belt knife, you know, something large to process wood and stuff with, but I always, when I'm in the woods, have my Mora Classic on my neck. And I really love this knife. This knife has red birch handles here, nice wood handles. They come with like a red paint on them, so I removed the red paint because it just gets worn over time and everything anyways, and I like to remove the paint and then keep the handle oiled up, which is kind of dry right now because we're actually out in the desert the last 3 months, and this thing's getting pretty dry. I should oil it up after we're done making this video today. High carbon steel, super high carbon steel, just like all Mora. It's that Scandi high carbon steel that they do over there in Sweden, and they really are always crushing it. That stuff is super hard, really easy to sharpen. I've sharpened this thing so many times, and right now it is razor sharp. This thing is razor sharp, and you can see how beat up this blade is. I have I've sharpened it a bunch of times, removed the patina a couple times, because this knife has done a lot of work for me, which is nice. I really like a knife that will do a lot of work. And one of the things, I mean, this plastic sheath that it comes with, I don't like really any of the sheaths that come with any of the Moras. And I own lots of Moras. Alright, too many for one man. But this sheath I actually love. I love this. The classic sheaths that they have with the classic design are perfect because they're really made to be hung around your neck, or to be tucked into a belt, or something like that, which works well with this little like plastic sheath that they have. All the other plastic sheaths really are just kind of stiff and don't really work very well that Moras have, I think. Like something like this. This is the basic 511, and this thing will work. You can stick this on your belt and take it on and off at the job site really easily, and it definitely works. And this right here is the heavy duty in safety orange. You know, this is a beautiful knife that Mora makes for under $20. We'll talk about that in another video. But the sheath, really, I wouldn't count on this out in the wilderness. I would count on this knife in the wilderness all day long, but this sheath I really wouldn't. This knife I count on all the time. I've gone out for weekends with just this knife on me and a 2-liter pot, and been just fine. Like, this knife can do a lot of work and a lot of bushcraft tasks, and especially with an axe. This knife and an axe, you can build an entire village practically. Alright, like, I mean, this is a handy tool. They're about $15 right now. They get up to about $17 sometimes on Amazon with Amazon Prime free shipping. I really like it. Specs on this knife. This has, it's a rough finish, but it's usually a rounded edge here that you have to file down. You have to file it a little if you want to strike a ferro rod with it. It's a 0.08 inch blade, or 2 mils, and 2 millimeters. And the blade length is 3 inches, 3.9 inches, and total length of the whole entire knife is 7.8 inches. The handle is pretty short. It's kind of a short, stubby handle, and if you mess around, this knife, if you keep it really sharp like you should, you don't want to have your hands come up on this blade, so you got to get used to having a knife like this that works like this and that has a grip like this. But once you do, this thing is so light. This thing weighs 2.8 ounces, and I'm not sure if that's with the sheath, but this sheath weighs nothing at all. Like, this knife, I don't even feel around my neck, and I mean, I think I really can say that it's just as light as any of these really small neckers that everybody's wearing these days. It's definitely really a light, nice knife, and it sits pretty flat in your shirt, but it does kind of a bulge compared to the neckers that guys are wearing these days. But all in all, the Classic series are all great knives. They've added a Classic number 3, which I don't remember them ever having a number 3 on the line. They usually just had a number 1, a number 2, and then a number 2.0 too, which I think might have like a shorter blade, a fatter, shorter blade than the 2. I'm not really sure, but they've added a couple different blades to the Classic series, which is nice. I'm going to order a couple more of those and check those out here on the channel. And we have all kinds of more still that we have to look at on the channel. So today we looked at the Mora Classic number 1. Really a classic bushcraft tool, and you'll see this around a lot of guys' necks. Cody Lundeen wears around his neck, and at one point I do believe Morris Krahansky wore one of these for a little while, but he usually has a nicer knife than that. I mean, I'm sure people are making him a lot of custom knives. Well, all in all, it's one of my favorite knives out there. I suggest if you don't own one yet to go out and buy one. It will always perform well for you. This handle here, it is like kind of like a tapered tang, and this handle is wood and it's just glued or something. Like a little piece here is glued where they slide the blade into the wood. And I haven't had any problems with it, and I've been in Maine for months with this thing, so it's been in really wet weather. But I think if you got this handle too wet, you would have problems maybe with that separating. But just take good care of your tools and you won't have these problems. And a little Arkansas stone like this Dan's whetstone right here, you keep that thing razor sharp and keep all the rust off of it while you're wandering around in the bush. So as always, make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe. Uncle Dave from DC's Adventures. I'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye. Yeah, these Moras, I gave my 2 best friends one of these too in 2014. So this one says 14 in DC, and my friends say 14 and then their initials on it. So this knife is really special to me. Thanks again for joining me on another video. And another Mora knife video. We're doing a lot of those lately, but the Mora Knife Company is really doing a great job for how affordable these knives are.